Hello and welcome. My name is Jean Umberto. In this video, we are going to start practicing the connection between HTML and JavaScript. So let's go ahead and do just that. Okay, so here I am on my desktop and I've created a folder named JS Work. And this is basically going to be my project folder. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this folder. Now, what am I supposed to do in this folder? Okay, so we are going to have different subject or different topic of discussion, and for each subject or topic I'm going to create one folder. Now for this current discussion, we said we want to talk about how JavaScript or HTML and JavaScript are connected. I'm going to basically say new folder, that is on Windows 7. Just click on the new folder button here, and here I'm just going to say JS and HTML connection. I'll be creating all my folder names using capital letters, but it doesn't matter if you use lowercase or uppercase. Okay, so this represents the subject of discussion, and I'm just gonna go ahead and open this folder, and inside this folder, which is now a subdirectory, a subfolder of the main project folder, as you can see here, if I click in the address, you can see we are inside the desktop location, and inside the JavaScript work, and inside our current folder, which is the topic folder. Now here I need to create two files, one HTML file, one HTML document, of course, using Notepad. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and open Notepad here, and I'm also going to create one file using the Mozilla Firefox Scratchpad. For now, let's start with HTML. So before I even start typing any HTML code here, I want to go ahead and save this blank or empty file. So I'll go to File, Save As. Please make sure you are inside the subject or the discussion directory. You can see here the current directory is JS HTML connection, which is inside the parent main folder JS Work. Now I want to give this file a meaningful name so that next time if I come to this directory, just by looking at the name, I might remember exactly what I was trying to do. And what I want to do here is just give it a name, connection.html. Okay, so that sounds like a good name. You might also come up with any name that's going to make it easier for you to remember exactly what you're doing. And don't forget, whenever you give your program file names, don't forget to also give that extension. Okay, the file name is connection and the extension is .html. This is very important for the computer to figure out which software application to use to run or open your file. So the type, again, don't forget the type. It must be set to all files. Okay, don't forget the name, the extension, and the all file as the type. Now save. And now you can see we have that file created here, the name being connection, and you can see the Google Chrome logo right there. This is because Google Chrome on this computer is set as the default browser. So anything that looks like HTML or anything that the browser will try to run will basically be executed by Google Chrome. On your machine, it might be Mozilla Firefox. Now, this could be Internet Explorer, Safari, Chrome. It could be Opera or any other browser that you're using as a default browser. Okay, so what am I going to do next is basically to create the code, and I'm going to create the skeleton, which is a blank HTML document for now. And how do we do that? I'm just going to go ahead and type in the opening HTML tag and the closing tag. So basically that's the opening and that is the closing tag, and inside of this I'm going to create the head tag. Okay, and I'm just gonna close the head. Okay, and after the head, what do we have? We have the body. Okay, so now it's gonna have the body tag there. Okay, so what we put in the body is basically anything that we want our user to see on the page. What comes in the head is not for the user to see. Basically, this is like a human being. What is in your head is kind of hard or probably impossible for somebody else to see until you really want them to see it by your body or your language expression. So what is in the head is not for our users. However, what is inside the body is for everyone to see. And this could be like, the colors of your your trousers or your shirt, or anything that you put on the body is of course for people to see. How you make up, how you style your hair, all those are in the body. So this is basically the same. Everything we want to expose to the user goes to the body, and what we don't want the user to see, what is not important for the user, goes right inside the head. Now it turns out our JavaScript connection is going to be done in the head here. Okay, so we don't want to see the user, we don't want to show the user that we're connecting to JavaScript, so we can just basically go ahead and put it inside our head section. However, you could also go straight and put it in the body, and there's a good purpose for doing this. That's basically when you want all the body or all the page to load before you start connecting to your JavaScript. And most of the time we do that depending on the type of program or depending on how much you have on a page. And you might find yourself having multiple or many JavaScript files to connect to one HTML document, and some file need to be loaded, or they need to come before as a file. So you might put some in the head and some back in the body later on. But for now, just know that we are going to put all our JavaScript connections right inside the head section. So how do we do that? We use another element or a tag called script. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and close the script tag as well. Now the script element or tag has an attribute called src, which basically means source. So I'll say src equals to the value. Now this is going to be the name of the JavaScript file which we are going to create now in Scratchpad. So let's go ahead and start creating our JavaScript file. Before I do, I'll make sure that I save this file, and now I'll go to Mozilla right here. I'll open Mozilla Firefox, give it a couple of seconds to load. Okay, so here Firefox has finished loading, it's ready, and we need to go right to the menu here. That's a menu icon, and because you want to develop, when you're writing JavaScript code, you are actually developing or programming. So we're gonna go to the developer tool here, right here, click on that tool icon, and now you can see right here we have Scratchpad. So we'll be using Scratchpad, and in later videos we are going to be using Scratchpad and the web console. For now we only need Scratchpad. So I'll go ahead and open Scratchpad, and I've chosen a dark style for my Scratchpad, which is a dark background, which you can actually change later on to any other background that you want, and I'll show you in later videos how you can do exactly that. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove all these comment here, JavaScript comment here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and remove that, and I'll click on the save command right here, the save button, and again make sure you are saving that JavaScript file in the same directory or the same folder right here, JS HTML connection. So I'm gonna give it the same name, connection, but this time the extension is going to be JS, not HTML. So I'll go ahead and say connection, I'll say .js, not .html. This is a JavaScript file, and again Scratchpad has automatically assigned the JavaScript file as a type, because basically Scratchpad is used to create JavaScript files. So I'll go ahead and save. Okay, and if you go back to that folder, you can see now we have two files, our HTML file and our JavaScript file. So back to HTML. Now that I know I have a connection.js file, I can write it right inside this src as a value. So the src attribute is expecting a value which will be the name of the JavaScript to which you are connecting, and because these files are in the same folder directory, I simply need to write the name of the file, which is connection.js. So this is basically it. This is all you need to do. And what we need to do, well, we need to now make sure that these two files are really connected, they are really communicating. And how can we see that? We can go back to Scratchpad and basically write some code that, when we run this file, this connection.html file, and let me run it for now. I'm just gonna go ahead and open it up. It's gonna open with Google Chrome. Okay, now you can see that this file is loaded, but there is absolutely nothing. Okay, so there is no proof that these two files are connected. So I need to prove that to myself. So I'll go back here to the JavaScript Scratchpad interface, and what I'm going to do here is basically say I'm going to use the Windows, which is a Windows object, and I'll say when the window is loaded, and that's basically the statement. That is the window object dot the onload, which is a method of the window object. I'll say when this happens, okay, when the browser has loaded the page, now just alert, put something in the page. So what I'm going to do is basically say alert, yes, I am connected to this HTML file. So that's all the message, just to prove that we are connected. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this file. Okay, this is all we had to do. Window.onload equals a function. Now this is an anonymous function. You don't need to understand all those concepts for now, and I'm just gonna alert, which is basically a kind of a pop-up message that will block the page and say yes, I'm connected to this HTML file. Save that again, come back to this file, which is the HTML file, and run it again, and this time you can see it says yes, I'm connected to this HTML file. So again, back to the code. All we had to do in the head section, we wrote a connection script, which is script src, the name of the JavaScript file we're connecting to, making sure that they are both in the same directory or folder, and voila, we wrote our alert inside the JavaScript file, and we tested the page, we got the result. Okay, so that's all. You can keep practicing this, change the different change names of your HTML file, change names of your JavaScript file, and you should be fine. Thank you very much for watching. Let me see you in the next video.